Tania Mouraud zählt zu den wichtigsten zeitgenössischen Künstlerinnen Frankreichs. Seit 50 Jahren schafft sie ein vielschichtiges Œuvre, für das sie auf die unterschiedlichsten Medien wie Malerei, Installation, Ton, Performance, Fotografie und Video zurückgreift. Mouraud untersucht in ihren Arbeiten die Wechselwirkung von Kunst und Gesellschaft, die Position des menschlichen Körpers in Raum, die Beziehung von Bild und Schrift, aber auch schwerwiegendere Themen wie Krieg und Holocaust. Das Centre Pompidou in Metz widmet ihr jetzt seit dem 4. März eine umfangreiche Retrospektive. Speziell am Ausstellungskonzept ist, dass auch ab dem 27. Juni dieses Jahres der Parcours der Ausstellung sich durch die gesamte Stadt Metz zieht. Mourauds Werke werden dann nicht nur in weiteren 9 Partnerinstitutionen zu sehen sein, sondern auch im öffentlichen Raum. Hélène Guenin, Chief Curator am Centre Pompidou Metz und eine der beiden Kuratorinnen der Ausstellung, führte für Number 32 durch die Retrospektive.
When Tania Mouraud was a child, she was sent to England for 5 years for her studies. And then when she was 17, her mother decided to send her to Germany so that she learned German and so that she became a good wife, a future good wife. But her daughter was a rebel one, and so things were a little bit different. But in any case, it's in this context that Tania Mouraud arrived in 1959. She was 17 in Düsseldorf. And this period of 6 years was extremely important for her because she was extremely curious, and she discovered in Düsseldorf at that time a group of artists from the Zero Group, Fluxus, people from concrete poetry, but also different thinkers from European or American countries. And this period was extremely vivid for her. She, even if she was very young, she was going out in the different bars and following the debates, the discussions, lectures, going to the different exhibitions. It's in Düsseldorf that she discovered Jackson Pollock, who was extremely important for her, not in terms of style, but in terms of spirit and in the way he thought the space and the environment. And she was a close friend to Gotthard Graupner, even if he was much older than her. And she was very influenced also by the Kunstakademie of Joseph Beuys and the way he opened the whole academy to everyone, even if you had no qualification or if you had a very different style from what he was doing. So in this period, I would say in 1963, that she started to paint. She was fond of artistry and influenced by all she was seeing in Düsseldorf. And she started many different styles, kind of pop abstraction, geometric abstraction. She also did some anatomic paintings, and so she was working a lot and trying many different things. And in 1965, she went back to France, to Paris, and she continued paintings. But she was not really happy with what she was doing and always searching and searching. And finally, in 1968, she went to Documenta 4 in Kassel. And then she discovered this documenta very focused on political changings and social changings. And also she discovered the incredible freedom of the artist. And she then realized that being an artist was maybe not being a painter, but much more. It was working with sound, it was working with daily life materials. And when she went back to France, she decided to burn all the paintings she had done till this date. So it's with this incredible image of an artist burning her paintings that we introduced the show in Metz.
Das radikale Verbrennen ihrer Gemälde steht auch symbolisch für das gesamte künstlerische Schaffen von Mouraud. Immer wieder greift sie neue Techniken und Themen auf und erfindet sich und ihr Werk sozusagen neu. Ab 1968 entwickelt sie ihre sogenannten Initiation Rooms. Hierbei handelt es sich um in sich geschlossene Räume, die zum Beispiel zur Meditation dienen können und in Wohnungen und auch im Außenraum installiert werden.
From 1969 to 1973, Tania Mouraud started to develop real environments, and she started to imagine during this period meditation rooms and initiation spaces. And it's true that in Europe she was one of the only female artists who was working at that time with the notion of environment. So the very first room that we decided to reenact for this exhibition is here. It is called One More Night. She did the drawing in 1969. You can see the drawing here. It's like a kind of architectural map with the dimensions and all the technical description of the spaces that she imagined. And here the model. And we can see also here some pictures of the first creation, real creation of this room in 1970 in a gallery in Paris, Galerie Rive Droite. And this space was connected to sound. From the very beginning, Tania Mouraud also worked with a global experience of a visitor, including the light, the space, and the sound. At that time, she was working with Hélène Guenin, a French composer, who imagined a kind of soundscape that would be a kind of reverse of the space in itself. People had to climb a few stairs before discovering this kind of hall in the center, which was made at the dimension of the body of the artist. You can imagine her lying in the bottom of this hall with the legs and her arms in cross. And so for the exhibition we decided to reenact this piece for the very first time since 1970. And this time it's no more the sound of Hélène Guenin, but a frequency, a specific one, of 200 Hertz. It's a sound that helps people entering in a state of meditation.
Eine Komponente, die seit den 1970er Jahren im Werk von Mouraud auftritt, ist die Schrift, die Sprache und ihre visuelle Bedeutung. So bedruckt sie zum Beispiel große Planen, die in der Bauindustrie genutzt werden, mit Wörtern wie Percept as Concept. Die Analyse der Schrift führt zu großen Wandmalereien, in denen die Buchstaben so verzerrt dargestellt werden, dass sie fast nicht mehr lesbar sind. Der Sinn des eigentlichen Satzes verschwindet so zugunsten des Bildes und einer quasi-architekturalen Ästhetik. Auch das Wort Art, Kunst, wird spielerisch-analytisch an die Wand gebracht. Was man sieht, sind die leeren Innenräume der Buchstaben, also das Negativ des Wortes. Eine der eindrucksvollsten Arbeiten in der Ausstellung ist Ad Nauseam von 2014. In der dreiteiligen Videoinstallation wird die Zerstörung von Büchern in einer Recyclingfabrik gezeigt. Über die Zerstörung von Sprache und Text hinaus wirft die Arbeit auch Fragen zu Massenkonsum und dem Umgang mit Wissen auf.
We started to work on this survey show with Tania Mouraud 2 years ago, a little bit more. And from the very beginning, we were very concerned by this question of proposing a survey show that would offer a way of looking at our art of yesterday with the eyes of today. And one of the key points of this exhibition is that we reenacted a lot of the pieces from the early 60s and 70s that disappeared, and we really wanted to be engaged with this question of reenactment, of